guys. Welcome
Hello.
back.
Welcome back. Oh, yeah.
I always say,
again.
it's so good to see you, Paige.
It's so good to see you,
I
Cyndi.
just love it.
Welcome back, you guys. This is Mom's the Word.
Where Mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.
We're your hosts. I'm Cyndi.
And I am Paige.
Oh, man.
And I'm still tired. I'm still exhausted.
I cannot. I feel a little tired, too.
Do you?
Just a little bit. But you know what?
I'd like to say we're going to get a nap, but we're going partying after this.
We sure are.
Going to the Great Wolf Lodge.
This is our first, family vacation.
Yeah. Little staycation, technically.
It is a staycation. I have vacationed with Jay, but not his whole family. So I'm excited.
We've never done anything like this.
We have not. Paige doesn't leave the house, but I told her this year she is.
She's forcing me out of the house, y'all.
She needs to be. We love her babies. Her babies want to hang out with our babies.
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
truth.
When they meet little friends. So
It's good. Find yourself a mom friend that has kid friends.
find yourself a mom
Does
friend
that
who's
make
an outrovert.
Yeah, to your introvert.
Exactly.
Because I am an antisocial extrovert. So
Yes.
I am an extrovert if you're actually around me.
Yes.
But I'm very antisocial in the sense that my social battery drains very
quickly.
quickly, and I will just kind of shut down and get awkward. And I don't like to be that person around other people.
I get it.
Because I also don't want to put insecurities into my friends where they're like, "Fuck, is she annoyed by me, or does she want to be around me?" And I do. It's just that I'm not used to having a bunch of people in my face. And don't get me wrong, I had cousins and such growing up, but I mean,
Then she met me and Jay.
yeah.
We're the most in your face people.
Yes. And if I want to recluse, they're like,
Ma'am,
what are you doing?
you have all week to do that?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I would. So I'm an extrovert, but I will literally make my social bubble so big, and then I will escape for a couple of days and be like, Cyndi, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm just at home sleeping.
I'm just in my bubble.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I came across a video on TikTok, and the quote, I want to read it to you because I know you've heard of it before, but I want to talk about how parents are literally amazing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this quote to y'all.
Okay.
And then we're going to see Paige's reaction.
Okay.
So the video is by a girl named Sid. Hey, Sid. And she says, imagine you're literally having the worst day of your life. You're on the brink of mental tears. You're on the brink of a mental breakdown.
Been there.
And then something goes, Mommy.
Oh, that's sweet actually for me.
Yeah.
That's cute. That brings me back into earth for me. It's okay,
She
things
was
aren't that
picturing
bad.
the mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your child walks in.
Needs you. Which can be both difficult and a blessing because I will get in the sense of feeling so down and then having, my son be like, Mama, makes me feel uplifted.
You gotta push
but
it
there's
back.
also the moment where I just want to freaking cry.
Yeah.
And then somebody else needs me and I need myself right then, but they're my priority. They're before me.
Yes.
As a mother, so
That's why I say parents are amazing. We have these daily struggles that we go through. Our mental health, our trauma as children, our trauma now, relationships we're in. And then we just have this sweet baby, 1, 2, 3, that humble you. Because you're they need me more than anything else. And I feel like a lot of moms, and I see this, are here because of their kids. And that saddens me.
Yeah, I felt that way over the summer, big time. If I felt like my kids would be okay without me, then I would just not be there because I was so depressed and in such a dark place. So I want to, if you're feeling like that, it's not normal.
No.
I'm not in that place now. And that's because I spoke up to my doctor and
you can get out of it.
And you can get out of it. It's not normal to feel like that.
No. If you're only living for your children, that is not a normal response.
We talk about this though, being a little scared of feeling like your whole identity is as a mom.
Yeah.
And I enjoy being a mother, which is why I feel like I dive so deep into motherhood.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe it's my whole personality, but it's because it's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Somebody else could enjoy reading books.
Yeah.
And they just talk about books all the time because that's what they love. I love being a mom.
Yeah, somebody commented that on my post, and I think they were meaning it in a not mean way, but definitely a direct, your whole personality is being a mom. And I thought for a second, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, yes, it is. My personality is being a mom because that is this is where I'm at in my motherhood journey. From the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, and even dreaming sometimes, are my kids. And I don't think that's a bad thing right now. There are parts of me that other people see that, don't involve my children. But mainly my kids.
I don't think you're just a mom. I think you're a mom, you're a podcast host, you're a content creator, you're a wife, you're a daughter.
Yes.
There's so many roles that you play. You just share your role as a mother more publicly.
And that's what I think people don't understand is my whole, what I share, my creation is being a mom. And so what you are going to get from me is motherhood. I don't share some of the other things that I go through. And so I'm not ashamed that motherhood is my personality right now.
Yeah, I'm
not And I hope
either.
to one day to fall into something else that is my personality. But I am in love with being a mom. I enjoy making things for my kids. I enjoy getting up with them. And so I just think that if that is your personality right now, I feel like it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Because
I don't think you should feel shamed for wanting to dive into something that you love.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that moms get that that's your whole personality. It's just you being a mother.
Yeah.
A lot more than somebody who likes books.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to look at them and be like, God, why is it all you do is like books?
I would rather motherhood be my personality than y'all think I don't love my kids.
Amen to that.
I'm I would rather give it to my kids than not.
Yeah.
But I do things for myself. I really do. And I just think people don't see them because I don't share that part of me. I read books, but I don't share about books. I thrift a lot and I don't share about all the time. I share what my kids get because my account is about kids, and so, or about motherhood and what I do. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bad flaw. I don't think it's a flaw at all.
I don't think it's a flaw.
Yeah.
I think that's just the stage of life that you're in too, because you won't always have this stage of motherhood on the forefront.
I want to keep it.
Yeah, I know. We think about the times where we don't have the kids around and what will we do then? And while it is terrifying to me because I love the stage that I'm in. I love being a mom. I love that they need me. I'm also excited to see what they do in life.
Me too.
And, go to do different things with them. I mean, Vance and Dylan are right at the cusp of that as they're touring colleges and they're getting girlfriends and they're, figuring out who they are as individuals. It's damn near time to take a step back and let them take the ropes. And that's terrifying. It's terrifying, especially because you think we will go from a family of 6 to a family of 4 in the home. We will always be a family of 6, but in the home, we will be a family of 4 so quickly. In 2 years, literally in 2 years, we will go from 6 to 4. And I just wonder, what does that look like? Because my attention goes in 4 different directions right now, 5 with my husband. And suddenly it'll be 3.
Yeah.
And it's I'll have time to maybe discover something new about myself. I don't know. I think I'll be ready to be a stay-at-home grandma too.
Yeah.
Give me all the babies.
I love that.
But I don't want any more children, personally. I've reached that stage of understanding that I do not want any more kids.
Yeah.
You do.
I do.
Cyndi wants more babies. I have reached the stage of knowing for a fact, comfortably, me and my husband, we're happy. We're good.
Yeah.
We don't want more.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like as a mom, we overcome a lot of things as we have babies, and I had to overcome what I thought my life as a mother would look like.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of who I am now. But before you had kids, what you thought your life was going to look like was way different. And then I struggled with infertility and all of these different things. And now I'm this is what my life is supposed to look like. You know what I mean? I don't know. And for you probably feel the same. I don't know if you do, but do you feel like you're proud of the motherhood that you've created for yourself, or you're still learning?
Both. Absolutely both, because I'm both proud of myself and still learning, and I'll always be learning. You know, no matter what. There's no way that I'll ever know everything.
Yeah, I agree. Because some people will be like, "Well, you've had so many kids, you know all the things," and and don't get me wrong,
you may know tips and tricks.
I'm very confident in it, but absolutely not. I'm learning every day.
But you've never had that kid.
No, I'm on my 7th newborn, and I'm still sleep progression. I still don't know.
Teething.
Yeah, I'm on I don't even know. I'd say 15th toddler, and I still struggle with feeding them, learning what to make, and it's just you relearn things, you know, over and over and over again. But.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think you can both be proud of yourself and still learning in the sense that there's also a stage of mourning to what you pictured.
Yeah,
it was going to be like. So while I'm proud of who I am and who I am becoming, I'm proud to be learning even more than I'm proud of like who I exist to be right now.
Yeah.
Because I could just be like, oh, this is the way that it's going to be. And if it's not that, well, then it's just not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I had to mourn a lot because I didn't picture myself struggling with infertility. I pictured starting a family and popping out 3 babies, and they all look like us, and me and my husband. And I had this picture perfect way of how my family was going to go. And I had to mourn the fact that I'm not going to be that type of mother. But I also learned that that's not just what a mother is.
Correct.
A biological mother is not the only type of mom there is. And now I love that so much, you know. And now I am a bio mom, an adoptive mom, a foster mom, you know, a pet mom. And I just feel like that has made me a better person because I've had to go through some things silently that people don't know about.
Yeah. And I think that something you don't talk about a lot is your fertility struggles because you are still very much in the thick of the fertility struggles.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming here that you take pregnancy tests every month and that like you're taking ovulation kits and all the things. Because I know when you're trying, it becomes everything you freaking think about.
Yeah.
So like if you're struggling with fertility and that's something that you're in, just know that you're not alone.
Yeah. And I think people want to know, like they'll ask us all the time, like, Cyndi, talk about your infertility. But I think what they're forgetting is I'm in the infertility right now. Like this is my life because I still want more children. I'm living what you're living, not being able to have more children. They're like, well, you do have children. You do have children. Yeah. But not being able to be a mother in this way, you know, conceiving another child is hard to let go of.
I'm sure you kind of self-sabotage in the way of thinking like, why can't my body do this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I spend many times crying every month, but I don't talk about it because it's one of those silent struggles that I'm going through it. And I know a lot of other people are, but it's hard for me to talk about. And it makes other things hard for me to talk about. If someone's having a miscarriage and I won't respond the right way, it's because I'm having a hard time. I can't hear you talk about it because I'm having a hard time.
And you're responsible for your own trauma. So if you can't expose yourself to something like that.
Or like people want us to respond to certain things in certain ways. I can't even respond to things. Like I can't respond to children being hurt because I can't even voice it. It will make me so emotional. But as a mother, my emotions are so strong in becoming a mother and protecting my children that it's hard for me to like voice that opinion on things. And so I stay quiet. And I'd rather do that than say the wrong thing or, you know.
Be misinterpreted.
Yeah, because it's hard for me. It's hard for me to hear about child loss and all those things. And so I don't talk about them often. I will keep getting brave as we continue on to talk about things. Paige doesn't even know what I struggle with, but she's like, I feel like I know.
A little bit, just because I can pick up here and there because, you know, she's one of my best friends. We talk every day. So there's definitely little clips here and there. But I mean, even from me, there's things that she hides. So I think that just goes to show what you see about somebody online is not always what they all are.
And it's okay to not share it.
Yeah.
I had to learn that too. Like, you don't have to share just because like they're interested in it. It'll come with time. It'll come with like how much I feel that you understand me. And so don't be afraid to like just hold on to it. And although I don't want you to keep it cooped up, I am keeping it cooped up. So I relate to a lot of women like that.
Well, you keep it private, but not cooped up. You and your husband are very open with one another.
My doctor, I'm very open with it in that way.
Right. So you are open, but private.
Yes.
So that's good.
All right, guys. Welcome to Jay's Corner.
Jay's Corner. What do you got for us today, Jay?
What do you got?
Well, I love the topic today that we're talking about.
She was trying to make me feel some things.
I'm tired of being the only one crying on here, darn it.
It was very deep, but I like how you shared without sharing.
Thank you so much.
Which was
Thank
amazing. So thank you for that.
What did we talk about last time? Boundaries.
I have some of those.
Don't we all? So today I want to talk about what are some things that you don't want to pass on to your children from your own childhood.
Okay.
That's deep, right?
Yes.
Do you want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. Ay, Dios mío. There's so much. I'm just kidding. I think the biggest thing for me, I've mentioned it before, is that I'm afraid to die. Mm-hmm. And I think that fear comes from the fact that I was gay and I knew at a very young age. And in our home, my dad condemned homosexuals to hell every day. And so every day I was constantly scared. I felt like he was talking directly to me when he would talk bad about homosexuals or anything like that. I felt like it was just a lot. And I would get so scared. And then the thing that he would always say is that what happens in the dark comes to light. And so then I would go to my room and I'd be so scared. And I'm like, God, he's going to find out one day that I'm gay. And I knew for a fact he would disown me, like he wasn't going to love me. So then I kind of had to prepare for that. And then I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm going to go to hell. Oh. And so then I was like, well, who wants to burn? I mean, only some carne asada, but you know, like nobody wants to burn in hell. And so I think that's where my trauma comes from, not wanting to die. Because at a young age, I mean, I knew. And so that's where it comes for me. And so now it's interesting because I'm trying to navigate as a parent, religion with my children. And, you know, religious trauma is what I would say is because it was so deep in our home. Like I come from a home where we didn't listen to music unless it was godly music. Right. It wasn't, you know, even TV shows, we didn't have cable. And so we had to watch Christian movies or PG-13 movies that weren't anything. Harry Potter? Absolutely not. That's the devil's work. And so it was that. And so now with my children, I'm like, how do I navigate through that?
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of the things, and I'm very religious to this day. Like I'm always like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I credit like most of the blessings in our life to Jesus. But then I think to myself, how can I do that without making my child feel guilty or bad for who they are and just being who they naturally are, right? Yeah. And so I think that's what I'm trying to balance right now. And I'm at this point, this is something that I'm in the middle of. I still think about, how do I handle that? Because based on my dad's interpretations, I should go to hell. But based off of my interpretations, I'm not going to hell.
Right.
And it took me a long time to realize that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing for sure.
Yeah.
That's a big one, Jay.
Now y'all top that. No,
that's a big one.
That was a big one.
That's a big one for sure.
Yeah.
I would say something that I've noticed, and actually she's very self-aware of it, but my best friend's mom is like my godmother. She essentially helped raise me in a lot of the ways, but she's a very anxious person. I mean, very anxious person. And she would voice her fears to me. In a sense that I think it's contributed to my like doom anxiety and OCD, because if like say I was on top of like a box or something, she'd be like, get down before you bust your head open and split your face and you're gonna have to go to the hospital and you're gonna spend 10 days there and then you're gonna have stitches, you're gonna have a scar across your face for the rest of your life. Do you want that? Get down. And so now whenever I see my children doing something, I see they're going to fall and they're going to split their face and we're going to have to go to the hospital and we're going to be there for 6 years. And then CPS is going to think that I pushed them off that box and they're going to take my kid. And it's doomsday thinking. Yeah. And it's because I was always so aware of the danger that I was in whenever I was exploring and doing other things as a kid. So I think I try very hard whenever like Boston's climbing on something to be like, hey, there's a dog barking.
Ben.
Hey. to be like, you know, hey, be careful. You, look where you're at. You're really high up there, and to not fear monger in the same sense. Yeah. So, because I think it definitely contributes to why I picture every little thing going to shit.
And I can just imagine how you, before kids, you probably thought that in your mind, and then you got kids, and then now it's like double.
Even worse.
You know what I mean? Because now, like, even yourself, like, you do something, you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then now you have kids, like, any little thing is like, whoosh.
And how do I protect them and keep them in the bubble of protection? Yeah. So it's very difficult, but that's probably one of them.
Okay.
So I also struggle with anxiety. I'm gonna let Paige have that one because I was gonna speak on that because I also get very anxious in front of my child, and he does it too now. And so, but I'm not gonna talk about that. The one I want to speak on is that like I've tried very hard to control my reaction to my children.
Oh, that's hard.
And
it's so hard.
Now that I've had so many, I know every flaw that I have, right? I know what ticks me off. I know what will bring me over the edge. And so I'm very aware of how I'm reacting to what they're doing. And sometimes it gets me out, you know. Sometimes like Bear is being a certain way and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But then I'm like, take a breath, and I try to be very aware of how I'm reacting, because not only is Bear watching me, but so is the other one, and so is the other one. And I've noticed if I react a certain way, that now that my child's old enough, I see him doing it. And so I'm even more aware. And don't get me wrong, I've had to grow with my child. I'm not perfect. I had to learn how to parent each one of my children. But it's made me more aware the more children that I've had. And now that Bear's old enough to show, you know, how he reacts to things, I'm like, oh man, like, did I do that to him? And so it makes me more aware. So that's something I work on a lot, because when I was younger, my parents would react a certain way towards my brother or towards me, and we would react that same way, right?
That's how you're taught.
Yeah, quickly go to anger, or quickly go to like, get down now, like yelling right away, when that, you don't need to do that. And so that's something that I'm working on continuously, and my reaction to my kids, even my facial expression sometimes. And I got to tell you guys, so Jay the other day had posted like his kids got into something, and my heart was like, oh my God. Like, I could imagine his reaction, and he was so cool and calm. He's like, I had to walk away. And I'm like, that's what sometimes we have to do. And I find myself doing that a lot now. Like, like when I was first a mom, the cry would like ring my eardrum, and it wasn't no one's fault. It's just something we weren't used to. And so I would have to walk away. So that's something I'm very aware of.
I think that's really good. I think that, so like recently, last week, I was telling Kyler that, so the kids got on the counter, and kids love to climb. But on the counters where I have all the nice wooden toys that have all these parts, and so I'm like, don't touch those unless we're here, so you don't lose any, because it's like $50. But again, kids don't know that, but that's my own anxiety. So I came out after a meeting, and I turned around, and they were on the counter, and they had got everything out, and so that was, Lord Almighty, I was a little bit upset. I kind of lost it, and I was like, wait, that wasn't the reaction. It doesn't warrant that. So I told Kyla, I said, we have to eliminate the problem, right? Because obviously that upsets me. One, because it's expensive. Kids don't know that. Two, because of the mess. I'm busy, so then now we have a mess. And so then it's like, dude, is it really, like, they're just trying to play and explore. It's not that serious. So I told Kyla, well, we're fixing to move. I was like, in our new place, we won't have anything like that out. We will have like a toy rotation where what is out, they can mess with it, throw it anywhere, whatever. And I'm just going to put that up. So that way we
there's
don't
no
have
problem.
to, eliminate the source of the issue. So that way I don't have to be in that certain situation. I think is great. You know?
So these were some really good answers. They were really lighthearted, and I feel like we're all going to work towards these things forever. You know what I mean? Because as days go on, our children change. And so I know a lot of you parents are working through some things, a lot of mental health and things. So
anxiety.
Yes, a lot of anxiety. And a lot of us millennial parents have a lot of the same traumas, a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of feeling neglected and lost.
I feel like it goes by generation, genuinely.
And so like if we're working through something, let us know what you're working through, because you're not alone. Someone else is going through that right now.
And we're three anxious bitches here. Okay?
That's the truth.
We talk about this all the time.
And we help each other through those
much
conversations. And so it is good to, if you have, you know, your partner or a friend or a family member, to kind of talk through those things, because being self-aware is like the first step.
That's right.
In my opinion, like if you know that you want to make a change or you need to make some sort of difference, the first step is being self-aware. Then what do you do after that? So hopefully you'll look into that.
It's also so important that you find people that validate your emotions, that don't look at you and say, well, it's not that hard. You really just need to suck it up. To be able to look at them and say, I'm having a bad day, and them go, oh, that's so hard. Like, God, that's hard. I totally get it. Go take a bath. That is so much better than being like, you know,
that's all you need.
It could be harder.
Oh my
like
God.
it always
Or you know what happened to me?
Yes.
I'm about to go on a rant really quick. This is my biggest pet peeves with friendships or family. Your friends should, so let's say if you're on a high, if you go to your friend, they should lift you up even higher. If you're at a 10, they should put you on a 20, like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you.
Celebrating your wins.
If you go at a -0 and you walk out at a -10, do you know what I mean? Then they're not your friends. People should motivate you when you're on your high and uplift you when you're on your low. And if your friends or family are not doing that, they're not for you, and you need to.
If they don't make what you think is special feel special,
that's a big deal.
If you walk away feeling shittier or less happy when you walk into the conversation, that person is not for you. And you need to build a boundary. Either give them the boundary and see if they will, you know, continue, or if they say no, then okay, let's go our separate ways, and that's it. But that's one of my biggest things is the people that are around you should motivate you and uplift you all the time.
And a person like a friend who doesn't respect your boundary is not your real friend.
No. If someone loves you enough, like say I was to say, Cyndi, this is my boundary, and if she doesn't meet my boundary, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
This is where our season stops, and I'm going to continue forward.
Yeah. And that's okay.
But if the friend loves you enough, yes, they will do whatever is needed to make sure that that friendship or relationship works.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed.
Thank you, Jay. You're the best. Here's the best conversations. We'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining us today. We hope your commute to work or wherever you're watching was well.
That's right.
I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining.
Let's keep those giggles going.
And the love flowing.
And until next time, Mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.